Was in my late 20s.
Your late 20s.
Yes.
And how did you hear about the news?
How did I hear about the assassination?
Mm-hmm.
Saw it on television the evening of April 4th, 1968, because the next morning I got so many questions from my elementary school students.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And what was your initial reaction to it?
I was very sad, even though at the time, I think, because I had listened a couple of days before to several speeches by Dr. King that indicated to me that he'd had a premonition that something was going to happen. He had talked about going to the mountaintop. He had talked about not being afraid of dying. And I said to my wife at the time that somehow I think he feels that something is going to happen. And of course, he was going into a city that was reeking with problems associated with sanitation workers. And so I had a feeling, I don't know why, I had a feeling that something was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I made it to Washington for the rally and didn't get close to him.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I did get close to him at one time at Ebenezer Baptist Church when he came in for a service. He was a very young man at the time. I was a student at Paine College.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were not that different in terms of ages, but he was not, of course, as famous at that time as he became. In fact, it's obvious to most people that he became more famous after death than he was during his lifetime.
Yeah. Tell me about that experience. What were some of the things that he talked about?
Well, you know, he was always one of those persons who talked about social issues. Even in his sermons, if you were to go back and look at his sermons, he always had some portion of his sermons that dealt with social issues. But at that time, I was young and not very tuned in to all that he was saying, even though many of the things that he said impacted a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a chance over the years to reflect on those times and those issues, and they're far more important to you after being able to process them than they are as you go along.